Yahya Sinwar has left a painful scar on Israel, provoking the launch of an investigation into centuries of ancient history. Yahya Sinwar has been intimidating Israel in an attempt to obtain historical information. The exact dates of the births of King Herod the Great and King David is uncertain. We can estimate the general dates of their lives based on historical records and the chronological order of the kings. Initially, King David ruled the kingdom of Israel from approximately 970 to 930 BCE. King David has lived in the 10th century BCE, before the Common Era. Chronologically, the Holy Word states David was born in Bethlehem in the tribe of Judah and chosen by God to rule as the king of Israel. In contrast, the time when King Herod the Great, on the other hand, ruled over Judea from 37 to 4 BCE, centuries and centuries later, he lived during the 1st century BCE, before the Common Era. Flourished only in the 1st century BCE, before the Common Era, and ruled from 37 to 4 BCE, following the passing of his father, Antipater II. Caesar Augustus nominated him as the Roman client affiliate king and put him in charge of Judea region. Around 72 BCE, Herod was born in Idumea, located south of Judea. Therefore, it is evident that King David lived several centuries before King Herod the Great, despite the considerable debate over the precise years and exact dates of their births. Historically, King Herod the Great requested authorization from the Roman Empire to serve as the affiliate commissioned tax-collecting client king for the region under the Roman Empire's jurisdiction. King Herod was inaugurated as the associate client king to collect taxes from the Judean population they owed to the Roman Empire. I sincerely apologize to all the communities worldwide. The Black communities, Christian communities, the Muslim communities, the Israel communities, and the Palestinian Gaza communities. However, the evidence for the existence of a monarch known as King Herod the Palestinian king is unsupported by the chronological historical data. As members of the Herodian dynasty, a Roman Empire affiliate client state, the title Herod refers to a series of rulers who controlled Judea and the surrounding lands in both the 1st century BCE, before the Common Era, and the 1st century CE, the Common Era. There is no proof that these commanders targeted any one group because of their race or religion. However, they are well known for their brutal methods of violent tactics and insurrection suppression. Historical records from outside the Bible do not support the well-known biblical tale of the great King Herod's massacre of all the male newborns in Bethlehem. As told in Matthew 2nd, 22-23, the Gospel's birth stories are products of religious tradition rather than historical accounts designed and accepted as facts. The Bethlehem West Bank from a Palestinian narrative is symbolic or metaphorical rather than factual, describing the actual events of King Herod the Great. Historical debates consider other cultures and beliefs due to capitalizing on the market economy. Relying on reliable sources is essential, as is avoiding spreading false information, disinformation, or damaging preconceptions. Please don't hesitate to research further to launch an investigation into centuries of ancient history. on the painful scars inflicted on the Israel lands. In a study of power, politics, and religious persecution, he was born in Bethlehem to King Herod and named Antipas, the son of King Herod the Great. In the village of Bethlehem, the son of King Herod the Great was born under the jurisdiction of the Roman Empire. According to the Roman Empire, King Herod the Great and his son King Herod Antipas were inaugurated as affiliate client kings for tax collecting purposes under the Roman Empire's jurisdiction, not for the wealth of a royal family bloodline. Herod Antipas, the son of King Herod the Great, was one of the most well-known and influential individuals in ancient Palestinian culture during the 1st century AD. As a tetrarch of Galilee and Peru, he ruled over a vast territory that included much of present-day Israel, Jordan, and parts of Syria. Herod Antipas ruled with considerable governmental power, but his chaotic reign and his controversial treatment of Jesus Christ and other religious icons are what people remember most about him. This report will cover the life and legacy of Herod Antipas, his rise to fame, and his tetrarchal reign and his encounters with other religious leaders, most notably Jesus Christ. Herod Antipas was born in 21 BC into the family of Herod the Great and his wife Malthalis. Julius Caesar appointed his father as the ruler of Judea, Samaria, and Idumea, when he was a Roman client monarch, to collect taxes from the population. In 4 BC, Herod Antipas assumed control of the provinces of Peru and Galilee after his father became crowned tetrarch, ruler of a quarter. Later, he added the title king to his name, solidifying his position as a monarch of the Roman Empire. King Herod the Great rose to power in early life due to his business relationship with the Roman Empire monarch. Early in his life, King Herod the Great gained power through his financial taxes collecting connections with the monarch of the Roman Empire. Herod Antipas was still a young man when his father, King Herod the Great, died. But he quickly established himself as a strong ruler. King Herod the Great remained friendly with the Sadducees and the Pharisees in particular. He strengthened his relationship with Rome by marrying Queen Doris of Jerusalem, the banished wife of the great King Herod. However, he faced a grave challenge, as his power from the Nabatees battling at war to control the region. One of the most notable aspects of Herod Antipas' reign was his friendship with Jesus Christ. According to the New Testament, Jesus performed numerous miracles and preached widely throughout Galilee, drawing large crowds. Jesus' fame and principles imparted to the polis brought him before the son of the great King Herod. Herod Antipas. Regardless of his initial curiosity, Herod Antipas was unwilling to acknowledge Jesus as the Messiah or the Son of God. Despite this, he became acquainted with Jesus Christ. The most famous encounter between Jesus Christ and Herod Antipas occurred when King Herod Antipas judged, interrogated, and investigated Jesus Christ after being imprisoned by the Pharisees. According to Mark 6:14-29, Herod Antipas questioned Jesus Christ but could not obtain proof to press charges against him. Instead, he mocked Jesus and handed him back to the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate, who ultimately authorized Jesus Christ's execution by crucifixion. King Herod Antipas dealt with Jesus personally and also persecuted several religious leaders during his reign. One such example is the beheading of John the Baptist, which occurred after John's captivity by Herod Antipas for disclosing that he disagreed with his brother Philip's marriage to the Herodes. According to Matthew 14:3-12, Herod Antipas offered the daughter of his wife and brother Salome anything she desired when she danced at his birthday celebration. She wants John the Baptist's head served on a platter as a performance reward. As another example of his persecution of religious leaders, King Herod Antipas also ordered the execution of one of Jesus' apostles, Peter, and his brother James. According to Acts 12:1-3, this occurred after King Herod Antipas arrested Peter and imprisoned him for a few days. Seeing Peter's popularity with the people, he gave the order to have him executed. But a holy angel appeared and assisted Peter in escaping persecution. King Herod Antipas' reign ended in 39 AD, the year of the Lord's arrival, or Anno Domini, when he was expelled from Rome and sent to Gaul. A few years later, he died there, ostensibly trying to reclaim his client's throne for the Roman kingdom. Despite his controversial image and treatment of religious leaders, Herod Antipas no longer profoundly impacted local politics. His construction projects, such as restoration of the Sepphoris and the fortification of Masada, helped to modernize and stabilize the area by attempting to maintain harmony with the Roman Empire and the Nabateans. But he further demonstrated his ability to manage complex geopolitical situations. Herod Antipas was a complex individual whose reign is known for achievements and disappointments to the Roman Empire. Although he was an excellent political tactician and thinker, he disregarded human life and religious freedom, as later investigated by the Roman Empire. Throughout his life, he struggled with issues of identity and legitimacy to his throne, constantly seeking to assert and maintain his dominance. Ultimately, his decisions and actions altered the course of history and had a profound effect on the Palestinian people as well as other populations. In summary, Herod Antipas' reign ruled in fame by brutality and fear. He brutally suppressed dissent throughout his authority over Judea, taking many innocent lives in the process. In addition, he practiced nepotism by elevating members of his own family to high positions, which further damaged his confidence in his ability to lead. The Jewish people experienced many tragedies inflicted by King Herod Antipas because of his actions, which led them to believe that he was a puppet of Rome, a betrayer of their religion, and the monarch of the empires of Rome. This hostility eventually developed into a full-fledged rebellion against Herod using the Romans' assault. The Great Revolt, led by Simon Bar Kokhba military leadership, lasted for several years and caused significant harm to both the Roman Empire and the Jewish people. Ultimately, in the end, even the tolerant Roman Empire could not tolerate Herod Antipas' excess and chose to depose of him in exile to wall. Nevertheless, his harsh leadership left wounds of the land. Nevertheless, his harsh leadership left wounds on the land and its people that would last for generations, meaning that his effects persisted long after he was gone by generations of Palestinians. Yahya Sinwar, leader of the Hamas, has taken advantage of this painful scar in Israel, provoking the launch of an investigation into centuries of ancient history. Free Israel.